Hello everybody. So today I'm going to do another piece on LawTube versus Chris Boozy and Bot Sentinel, which is in a lot of ways an offshoot of Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp. And it seems as if people from Amber Heard's team have gone after the people who, not just the people from Johnny Depp's team, but the people who dared to speak positively about Johnny Depp or negatively about Amber Heard. And one member of her team who didn't even appear in the trial is Chris Boozy, or who runs Bot Sentinel. He was going to be called as an expert witness. He wasn't actually called. He was still paid. He's a paid employee, or at least was. But of course that avenue, quite legally, means that he can continue to get money from her as an expert, because he might appear in the appeal. But it's sort of this, it's a little bit like it's legal. At least my understanding is legal, but a little bit underhanded. It's sort of like, oh, she can keep paying him using like the law, the insurance money or whatever, to pay him a little bit under the table so that he can do something else other than appear as her expert witness. So he could say, oh, I'm getting you to appear as my expert witness, but actually I want you to target all the people that have been supporting Johnny Depp. And he'll do it. He'll be paid. He's a paid employee, but then of course he doesn't admit to being a paid employee, even though he is a paid employee. Now, we can't necessarily prove that that's why he's doing this. It could be, oh well, he was paid to be a witness. Coincidentally, he just happens to find all this information. But it doesn't seem like it's a coincidence. It seems like this is definitely and almost certainly probably because he's trying to target them to make money. You know, the more people he gets banned, the more people whose lives he ruins, the happier Amber Heard is and the more money she gives him, even though that money's perhaps coming from insurance companies. Who cares about what an insurance company goes through? So be it. So part of that was the banning of Nick Rekieta, who runs a channel called Rekieta Law. Now, I've never really watched it. I think I've seen it in passing. It just didn't interest me. You know, when I was having a look at the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial, I stumbled upon a number of legal commentators. So these are professional lawyers who happen to go on to YouTube at least some of the time, perhaps to support their income, and some of them they're just full-time YouTubers who have a law degree. And that might seem like a strange thing to do, but you can get a lot of money on YouTube. And they ask for all of these super chats and all of this, and some of them can earn millions of dollars doing it. So, you know, people are interested. They get free law advice or legal expert opinions at least. Not necessarily proper legal advice, but, you know, and Nick Rekieta is one of them. So he's a proper practicing lawyer. Whether he runs any actual cases, I don't know. But he's licensed, he's approved, all of that sort of stuff. So his commentary, now, there is the claim by Chris Boozy that he's a Johnny Depp fan. Now, the only one out of them, look, there's maybe one or two that do support Johnny Depp outside of that, but most don't. They just happen to agree with the law. That, you know, he won the case because his case was better, not because people like him, but because he had a better legal argument, because the facts and the law were on his side, because she had been a liar. And that's different to, oh, he won because he's a man, or he won because of the colour of his skin. So anyway, so Nick Rekieta got banned, and my first thought was, oh, well, this was because of Chris Boozy. And this is because essentially of Amber Heard, indirectly. But then he got unbanned, and people were saying, well, why he got banned? And this sort of leaves a bit of food for thought, a bit of pause. So they're not saying he got banned because he supported Amber Heard. He got banned from Twitter because he was a ban evader. Because he'd previously been banned from Twitter however many years ago, made another account, and did nothing on the other account, but then they said, oh, well, you're ban evader. So Twitter said, well, that's a technicality, we can ban you. Had nothing to do with his Amber Heard thing. And the reason he got banned from YouTube, also, officially at least, had nothing to do with the Amber Heard thing. And the official reason that they gave was something quite different. And it had to do with a YouTuber called Keffals, or Twitter person called Keffals. Now, Keffals is someone who was born male and who now considers themselves to be female. Now, whether they've had a full sex change operation, I don't know. Don't know how far along the process they are. They consider themselves to be female. And they like to talk about how trans rights and all this sort of stuff. So, where they've butted heads is because rekieta law has supported a group called Kiwi Farms, which, in spite of the name, is not actually a New Zealand farming community. It's actually based in America, and it's an offshoot of Encyclopedia Dramatica. Now, for people who don't understand what Encyclopedia Dramatica is, that in turn is an offshoot of LJ Drama, or Live Journal Drama, which was a toxic trolling community that used to exist on Live Journal. I actually was made aware of them, and they targeted me. So LJ Drama targeted me, and they try to get you to commit suicide, is essentially what they do. And they do things leading up to that. They laugh, they have fun at other people's misery. And this is an organised trolling community. It is connected with GNAA, or at least it was, and others that engage in serious criminal activity. So, now not everybody that's involved with it is that level, and they almost sort of hide behind each other, in a sense. So, some of the people there just think, oh, this is funny, and they do nothing but laugh. And others are engaged in serious criminal activity. And you have everything along the way, and you don't know who's who. So if you're trying to prosecute them, you'll end up with all these people saying, oh, I just thought it was funny. And they will claim and prove that they did nothing wrong. While the people that actually did do something wrong will be running away, and nothing will happen to them. So they have this kind of scenario where there's innocent people thinking it's just funny, hiding behind criminals, or criminals hiding behind them. And that's how they operate. And they led to Encyclopedia Dramatica, and nowadays LJ Drama barely exists. Encyclopedia Dramatica is the main one. And then they have other ones. They have Something Awful. They have 4chan is sort of related to them, and now they have Kiwi Farms. So it's all connected. These are all trolling communities. So my personal opinion, having seen how they operate, is that they're all criminals. They should be banned, not just banned, but put in jail, punished. This is terrible behaviour. People's lives are ruined. People die over this. This is severe levels of bullying. And if Nick Rekieta supports that, my gut reaction is not to support him. I'll support whoever's against him. So I don't support trolling, I don't support bullying, I never will. But I guess it also depends on why he's supporting them. Is he supporting them because he doesn't have a clue what they're doing? Is he supporting them because he thinks, oh well, freedom of speech? Or is he supporting them because he thinks that people have a right to bully and harass and get other people to die for their amusement? I don't know what level. I didn't dig into that. I don't really want to. It's quite a terrifying rabbit hole to go down. So Keffals, it seems, is on the other end of that. She has potentially even been targeting herself by this Kiwi farm. She went into hiding and to try to raise money, apparently, and raised $100,000 apparently, US dollars. But I mean, who knows? It's hard to be clear on what's really happened there, but certainly they're on opposite sides of the fence. And Keffals has also said, apparently, that she believes that children should be allowed to take puberty blockers and become trans very early with surgical intervention. Now, rekieta law said, well, that's child abuse, and she should be put on the wall. Now, does he mean put a picture on the wall and ban her from places? Or does he mean put her on the wall for a firing squad? I don't know, but it certainly comes across as a bit death threat like, doesn't it? Or perhaps not death threat, but suggesting. And if you combine that with his support of Kiwi Farm, and the fact that Kiwi Farm apparently goes after trans people, and her being a trans person who's apparently been targeted by Kiwi Farm, you could say, well, he's trying to kill her. Is he really though? Probably not. It's almost like these two people, so Nick Rekieta and Keffals, don't actually have an argument. But someone sort of created an argument between them. He's actually talking about this from a purely legal point of view, and she's actually nothing to do with Amber Heard, but almost like someone from Amber Heard's team, perhaps Chris Boozy, has sort of made them hate each other so as to hide the fact that Chris Boozy is behind it all and Amber Heard is behind it all. It's like they're putting these little distractions in there, manipulating people, getting Keffals to do their dirty work. And Keffals, of course, feels very entitled, and this is an attack on trans. This is a very toxic trolling group. And this is what these people do. This is what Kiwi Farms does too. That this is what people like Chris Boozy do. It's what trolls do. They put people against each other who really should be friends. Nick Rekieta and Keffals probably should get along with each other, but they've both been manipulated to oppose each other. Nick Rekieta supports Kiwi Farms perhaps because he was told to support them. Perhaps Chris Boozy said that he opposed Kiwi Farms, and therefore Nick Rekieta said, well, they're probably good people. It's all very manipulative and very dishonest, and this is what these people do. That's it from me. Bye-bye.